I'm telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody who wants to walk, do it now.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
I'll use small words that you'll be sure to understand, you warthog-faced buffoon.
People coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup.
He thinks I made it up.
Unbelievable.
A lot of very bad things are happening in Nicaragua.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I never thought anybody could forget so much so fast without a severe blow to the head.
They're not allowed to be offensive, unfortunately. We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
Shop smart, shop S-smart.
You'll have nobody guarding your potatoes.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but two things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
We have that. It's as wide as it can be.
It's not Irish. It's not English.
How are you? Fair, the punishment kind is for the horses, you know.
It's just, well, it's just pikey.
Wah, wah, wee, wah!
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
You lied to me!
Hail to the king, baby.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Bring out your dead!
To be a moron. To be moronical. An imbecile. Like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go per. Bags of soup. Medicine and medical and what we're doing.
Moon River.
Soup for my family.
All right. Who wants some? Who's next?
That's right. I'm jumping back on. I said I might, and I am. I did. I did say it. I did say it. I did say, pardon me. It's getting long. Yeah, I said I was going to jump on here because he came out and gave his speech, and I was like, do I? It's usually the same shit anyways over and over again, but I don't know. I just feel like we got to get it on the board, you know? You guys don't even have to be here. I'll just do this one for myself. Some of the folks that are in another time zone, like Stewie, this might be good for you. This might be a little later in your morning or whenever. Isn't it 9 hours ahead? Isn't it? Jesus Christ, man. Thanks for being here. I'm hoping that I'm keeping you awake on a long drive, but don't look at the screen. Just keep driving. So, hi. How are you? Oh, boy. The afternoons. There's lots going on. I'll keep you one of these days. Okay, Stewie, I will keep it. I won't let you stay up till 2. I mean, it is Saturday night. Saturday night, we're gonna party, all right, but we have to see the orange fat soul. All right, yeah, back like a bad penny. I keep turning up. So, all right, this should be good. It's a half hour. I mean, I think I may even skip through some stuff if he just keeps. This is the same. I think he's just bought the whole propaganda line that if you just say it enough times, people will believe it. You know what I mean? That's the only reasoning I can come up with for him. Hey, Australia, how are you? Love you guys. Can't wait to visit. Holy shit. UK, just for the record, those of you that are in London, my son is named after Camden Town in London. That's true. And I've got a bit of Irish in me. And Scottish. I've got a good deal of Scottish over there. And they did send me a Twitch shirt, which is very pridely. Hold on, my mic, yeah, it's on the right side. Okay, good. I was backwards in my mirror and didn't know what was going on. We have a Camden, Delaware. It's true. There's a couple of them. There's even one here in Vegas where they've made like a Camden, like, I guess it's a planned community, gated community, like those kind of things, but they've just named the area that. Yeah. I have a bit of scotch in me at all times. Well, then call Uber. Good thing he wasn't named after Tunbridge Wells. I don't know. T. Wells? There's an H.G. Wells. It could work. I'm just saying. Don't write anything off. What's your first name? Tunbridge. That sounds heavy. All right. What about Wales? I love them. I think their songs are beautiful, and they were the best part of 90s meditation tapes. Yeah, no, well, good old Camden. Yeah, it's good. It's a beautiful part of town. I love it. So, yeah, there we go. So let's dive into this, get it over with. Jesus Christ. For sake, this is just going to be goofy. Meanwhile, though, thank you for joining me at twitch.tv/Hal Sparks, and thanks for hopping over to Facebook. Hi, Facebook. How are you? You're in Chicago. Favorite city in North America, hands down, no question. You're awesome. And hello, Twitter, Periscope, and the crowd. I'm just saying, I could have laid off Twitter all day today after spiking the ball on good old Jimmy Woods, but whatever. I mean, how do you set me up like that? Do you not know? Do I not warn everybody? Do I not put a label on that says smartass, or wise ass, so that you know you just can't, I'm just saying. How do you not see it? How do you step on that rake? Honest to God. What's happening, Rebecca? How are you? Shadowski, good to see you. Hal, going kayaking after a long, hard day at work and bringing you along. Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's nice to be here. Don't drop your phone overboard, whatever that means. I try, Mark. Here's the thing, and I'm just made this point. What's up, LA? Miss you guys. I know this stuff is serious, but just because it's a serious situation and I joke about it does not mean I don't take it seriously. It's just, this is my way, and comedy has always been a great tool for me and for humanity, for that matter, to give ourselves the gift of perspective, distance ourselves from the emotional fish hooks that are in a difficult situation, and allow us to mount it and put it in submission. Just trying to come up with a less violent phrase for it, but that's basically what it's for. Comedy allows us to, grab reality by the throat and make it pay attention. So there. Yeah, we got to learn to deal with this. So here we go. Let's give this nonsense a start. Purple tie today. I guess he's wearing that for, Texas and all the states he's going to lose?
Thank you very much.
They play Hail to the Chief. That means is he at Bedminster? That's the one they have on recording?
Appreciate it.
Thanks for the
and thank you for being
spattering.
Here.
Thanks for the spattering of applause. There's no spattering in here unless you're a member.
Let me provide a brief update on the China virus as well as our economic recovery, which is going really very well.
Yeah, super, man. It's totally good. Nobody is looking at what the exact date to stampede out of the stock market is, but they're waiting on it. Oh, boy.
You probably have been hearing. Nearly 85% of jurisdictions all across our country are reporting a
Jurisdictions.
very steep decline in cases.
Oh yeah? What's your definition of a steep decline? Secondly, 85% of the jurisdictions in this country have like 9 people in them.
And that's despite the fact that we have the #1 testing program anywhere in the world. We're up to almost 70 million tests, far beyond any other country.
Yeah, you should be getting a lot more negative tests than positive tests because of the, never mind.
This week, cases nationwide have declined by 6%.
Oh, shit. Guys, it's down 6%.
Positivity rate has fallen to just 6.
There's no sound? There's sound on. Everybody hears me, right? It's good. Is there audio on Facebook? You guys are all right?
5%, a 71% reduction from April, and a 15% reduction from mid-July. That's a big reduction.
Yeah, you mean from when you were only testing the sick? We're 75. We were 75% reduction or whatever from that time because they were only testing people who were literally coughing up a lung in the hospital.
Hospitalization rate for the
Trump's is low. Okay, I'll see if I can. I mean, he's really low energy. There's not a lot I can do about him, but
virus has been reduced by half since April, and I urge everyone to apply common sense mitigation. We know that, and we are all doing that, and I want to thank the American people for really doing such a great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I feel seen. I am doing an amazing job right now, mocking your goofy ass face.
The United States has now administered over 70 million tests, more than all of the European Union combined. If you combine all of Europe, it's less than what we do.
That's weird. So, but if you combine all of their dead, it's still way less than ours. Huh.
Of point-of-care tests are
That's weird.
Processed in less than 24 hours.
He is very beige, but I will point out that the red in the flag and the blue is muted. It doesn't look like hard blue. It looks like a soft navy. Now, this might be the flags in this place. The black background, can't really tell. But oftentimes, if you see him looking less orange, it's a matter of them, whoever we're pulling the feed from. This is fact-based, I think I'm using today. But this is from the White House's own thing. They will often, the White House will change the tone. They'll color correct a little bit so he doesn't look as orange. And it takes some of the orange out of the red that makes it bright and make it kind of a little more leaning purple. If you look at the tie, it looks super purple. That's why.
Many in under 15 minutes. Nearly 80% of all commercial lab test results are now returned within 3 days. So we've gotten that number down from about 8 days to 3 days.
There's a lot of abouts.
And that's only in the longer-term lab cases. But we have many 15-minute tests. We have some 5-minute tests.
Yeah, and why would you go for the 3-day test when you can have a 5-minute test? Oh, the 5-minute tests are bullshit? Oh, they're expensive and they don't always work? Oh, the 15-minute tests, you can only do one at a time? Oh, that's interesting.
The turnaround time for federal surge testing sites is just 2 days.
Oh, just 2 days. That's super sweet. So you only have to sequester yourself away from everyone for 2 whole days.
When you send them out.
Hey, Billy Gregg in Dublin, Ireland. How are you?
Despite the fact that you have a delivery time, which you can't do anything about.
Oh, yeah, well, you can. You can not fuck up the post office.
It's all the way down to 2 days.
Yeah, damn it, that mail and just getting it's terrible.
Very substantial reduction. Great job by the people that do it.
Oh, yeah? Who, that deliver it? You mean the U.S. Postal Service?
We are focused on aggressively shielding the highest risk individuals, those living in nursing homes and long-term care facilities.
Is he just going to repeat this shit every single day?
Are less than 1% of the U.S. population, but account for nearly half of all fatalities.
Nearly. Notice they used to say 43%, now they're saying nearly half, because it's going down to 41%, and it'll eventually be 40% as the deaths grow compared, once you get a lock on the old folks' home, the percentage of deaths, even if you get a handle on it, will go up higher amongst people who aren't in the areas that you're doing special protection on. So now the languaging is changing.
That's an incredible thing.
Saskatchewan, I love you guys. I always joke that it's Saskatchewan and that's where Sasquatch lives. It was a dumb joke, but it made living in Canada very easy.
It's 1% of the U.S. population, but they account for nearly half of the fatalities.
Nearly half. Notice they went to nearly
from
half.
The China virus. That's
why didn't you say 43%? Because 43% isn't impressive, and it's going down.
why we have rushed nursing home funding, protective gear, and rapid testing equipment, and we will announce additional measures to protect nursing.
And additional measures. Guys, he's gonna, very soon, they're gonna be announcing additional measures.
Gear and rapid testing equipment, and we will announce additional measures to protect nursing home residents.
Additional measures? Admissional fishes? Emotional fishes. What?
And rapid testing equipment, and we will announce additional measures to protect nursing home residents. In the coming days, we've worked very hard with nursing home.
What? Additional mushes? Mushes? Are we feeding old people mush? Is that what he thinks? In the old days, we used to give them gruel.
Companies.
What the fuck? What?
And rapid testing equipment, and we will announce additional measures to protect nurses.
Measures. Jesus, man. Additional measures.
Gear and rapid testing equipment, and we will announce additional measures to protect nursing home residents. In the coming days, we've worked very hard with nursing home companies.
Mushes.
And also with the governors, 50 governors all around the United States. And
oh yeah, you're not going to any of the governors outside the United States?
We have developed a very good relationship with most of the governors.
Most of them.
And I think for the most part, they're doing a really good job. They're focused very heavily on nursing homes, and when they need equipment that they can't get, remember that
mush is accomplished.
Supposed to get it, but when they can't get, we have tremendous amounts of equipment in stock.
We'll move it or whatever. But wait, there's more.
Thanks to my administration's decisive action to save American jobs, we're currently witnessing the fastest economic recovery in American history. And that's because the foundation that we set previously, before the virus came and hit our...
You mean the Obama administration set through the recovering from the Great Recession?
Sure. The foundation was so strong. We had such a strong...
No, has nothing to do with it. This was a blind side on the economy. The economy, even whether it was bad or good, is immaterial to the circumstance. I don't care if you were winning or losing at poker on the Titanic when the asshole captain let it hit the iceberg. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not relevant. Because even if you get your poker game back together, if the asshole captain hasn't learned anything, how are you going to continue playing if you don't know when the next iceberg is, because you still have the same dumbass captain? You understand what I'm saying? You're going to need to swap captains so that, yeah, we did drop 33%. That's not important. But the idea is that we were blindsided by this as a society in theory. I mean, it was COVID-19 because it came last year. But this idea that he has that somehow it's a great recovery, this was not a financial crash. This was a circumstantial crash. So the recovery of the economic aspects of it over time will have nothing to do with the value of these companies or what they actually were producing. It's not about credit default swaps or the collapse of the tech sector or a bunch of inflated stocks or a bunch of bad mortgages. It's because an illness came into the country and this asshole let it run rampant and pretend it wasn't anything for a long time. The parts that are recovering fast are the parts that are like the lifeboats on the Titanic. They're still going to float, but it's not a good thing that you're using them. Good evening, TLK Knitting. How are you? So,
foundation that we're recovering much faster than anybody anticipated. It turns out that it will be a very, very strong V.
No, it won't. First of all, he was saying it was a straight up V, which would be an L-shaped recovery, which is a friggin' cartoon. But this is not going to be a very strong V. There are a lot of industries where they're just gone. So even if they get back on their feet and they do recover, like Cirque du Soleil here in Vegas, which just shut down, Le Rev and all these other shows, fired 235 people, crew, performers, executives, everybody gone. Even if they get that back up and running, because it was caused by the fact that people, like if we had a vaccine tomorrow and everybody felt safe about going back to work, it still would be 3 months before they just got that show back. Do you understand? Like, all of that stuff won't come back for months. Yeah, movie theaters could technically come back tomorrow if they're like, yeah, it's, guys, all clear. You can go back to movie theaters. People would start back up because it's a popcorn machine and a projector. Half of it's digital and online anyways. You sit down and corporate headquarters launches it with a computer. But live performance venues, restaurants, stores, places that have gear in it that has to be insured and repaired or managed before it can be used, like this, it takes time.
You'll see that in just a second.
In just a second, it's going to be a big V. Does he have graphics?
So retail spending has fully recovered and is now at an all-time high. That's not all-time for this month or last month. That's at an all-time high, and you see that with the chart.
Bullshit.
This was previous to the plague, I call it, the plague coming into our land, and really.
Please show the graphic.
Affected 188. We're dealing with 188 countries.
Retail sales are at an all-time high.
And if you see, we've not only recovered, but we're at a much higher level than we were even then. That's an incredible number that nobody thought would even be possible.
I need to see this chart. Show the chart. The fuck is this chart?
So we're currently witnessing the fastest economic recovery in American history.
What recovery? If we have better retail sales numbers than we had before the plague, why don't we have a plague all the time?
An amazing statement.
Yeah, it's amazing, all right. It's fucking horseshit.
So retail spending is great, and now if they would put up, auto production has surged 28%, and that's...
Okay, so this is the highest percentage rise in history. So retail sales were at 88, let's give an abstract number, and they were going up or down a couple of points either direction because sometimes people buy more, sometimes people buy less, but there's 88 stuff. Then we went down to 0, and then we went back to 30, and that is a huge leap up compared to where the 88 number was going up and down. This is the dumbest, this is honest to God. What kind of...
Your auto production, which is right there. So you'll see that that's now about even to where it was, and that was at an all-time record high, and we're already even. And if you had a chart...
Big recovery in auto production.
Used car sales are setting a record.
What? It went back to its low standard because they were in the middle of something, and they went back and picked shit up. First of all, that's a farce. They're not going to sell them for a long time. What are they going to do? Go back to full production and sell them to people who have no goddamn money?
And that's great for production because when the used cars are practically not available.
There's no situation where we're out of used cars. You're an alcoholic. You're a complete drunk. There is no way we're out of used cars. Jesus, yeah, gonna get my car from Hertz. No shit, because nobody's renting cars. They're not going anywhere. The Enterprise, Hertz, Payless, all the, like all the rental companies are selling their cars rather than having them like rot and let the tires explode.
Very, very tight. That means you're gonna make a lot of new cars. So that...
And see what I said? Like this is... They're going back to whatever they were building based on the plan they had before. They just brought people back to the march. But this is, and by the way, Again, this is not sales. This is them making shit. I don't even know what the standard with 120 to 140, is this the per unit number of cars that are coming off the line every day? Something like that? Is that the idea? But notice it's basically, they just made it right in the middle, back where it was. Look, it's just right where it is. These aren't going to go anywhere.
Number is going to go up even beyond what it is right now.
Why? Why? Based on what? Why would you make more cars right now? Are you high?
But that's a fantastic number. That's a number that's the equivalent of where it was, and that was a record. So you...
No, it wasn't. Look at it. 17, 18, 19. See, like, look, the beginning of the chart is 2016. Look at this chart. Look at it. 17, 18, 19, 20. This is in the year, the fiscal year, the year before, right here. This is when we start. This is 20 so far, right? This is the number that he came in with Obama. That's it. This is the chart. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, normal, flat, crater, back up to normal. Absolutely no difference. What a pile of bullshit. Look at the beginning of the chart. It starts in 2016. It's fiscal year 2016 is the tail end of whatever that is that's happening. It's not going up. It's even. This is almost identical year to year what cars, like how the volume of cars that are made.
What's happening with respect to the economy and the...
You're a moron. This is ridiculous.
Recovery, and the stock market is almost at an all-time high. In fact,
yeah, because foreigners are hiding their money in the U.S. stock market as their other investments crater.
Nasdaq is at an all-time high. It's had 14 days where we broke the record already over the last 2 months. So a lot of great things are happening.
A lot of great things are happening, everybody.
Through the historic relief package that I...
Show the used car numbers. Come on, watch the used car sales go up and tell me that people buy more used cars just because they're feeling better about themselves. Remember, on the other side of every used car sale is a person who no longer can afford their car.
Signed into law, we saved over 50 million American jobs.
Why didn't you pull back and show us the retail numbers?
50 million American jobs, and the unemployment rate.
What the CARES Act? That was literally, it passed with a veto-proof majority. The House and Senate zipped that thing through. You didn't even negotiate it. You asked for half of what they actually passed.
It is rapidly going down. You see that. You've seen that, and I think you'll see it over the next 2 months, and you'll have a good report even prior to the election. You're going to have a very good report, I think.
Yeah, we're rigging it already. We're hiding all the death numbers. We're inflating all the other numbers. We're holding back some job recovery numbers as people go back, and and we'll wait to do it, like make it look like a giant surge right before before the election. P.S. Everyone will have already voted by the beginning of October.
You're going to have an incredible GDP. You're going to have a tremendous...
You mean the surge in GDP from down 33% to up 8%? Greatest leap. Nobody thought the GDP could go up 8%. Yeah, it had to go down 33% first.
Report on business, and a lot of it's going to be released, which is very fortunate prior to the election. I think...
Very fortunate? What, for you? Uh-oh. He's moving for his jacket. You know what that means.
Democrats are going out of their way to try.
Every time he yanks his jacket, he's filling his diaper with soup or farting.
And do whatever they can to stop these kind of numbers. They don't.
Why would anybody try to stop an economic recovery?
Like these kind of numbers.
Would you do that? Yes, he would. That's why he thinks that. Like, he doesn't recognize that, like, jobs lost and all this stuff. These are people, like, people commit suicide. They freak out. People lose their businesses. They die because of this. I don't want this. Democrats don't want this. But we also don't want to have people to choose between maybe killing themselves by going back to work and maybe killing themselves because they have no hope for the future.
It's because they think it'll hurt them in the election. I think we all have to pull together, and we have to do the right job, and we have to do what's good for the American people. We were unfairly treated by China because they could have stopped it.
If they could have stopped it, you could have stopped it leaving
That
Washington
being said,
State.
China's purchased.
Why did you let it leave Washington State? It was in one old folks' home. Why did you allow it? You could have. You could have actually gotten rid of this. You could have, if China could have stopped it, why didn't you?
The most amount of corn in history.
No, they didn't. Do I want to? Okay. Do I have to bring that up? Okay. Here, let me see if I can find. Hold on. I got to find the link. 1 second. Let's see. It's in my history, I think. Let's see. Earlier today, it was probably yesterday. We'll do this. Locally, fact sheet, rival Europe. Well, I'll just do a search for it. That'll be the easiest thing. China to miss agricultural target. Yeah, there you go. Bloomberg, 2 days ago. Head of busiest U.S. port says China to miss agricultural target. China may buy $10 billion of $36.5 billion set in deal. They're buying a third of what they were planning on buying. The head of the U.S. busiest port said China is on track to buy less than 1/3 of the American agricultural products it promised to purchase in 2020. The first year of a trade pact between the world's two biggest economies. So remember that whole trade pact that we didn't want to upset China about? Remember that? Remember that? Remember when he didn't want to he said, oh, China's doing a great job. They're being very transparent because we wanted this to pass. And he's like, I didn't want to upset them during the deal, the phase 1 trade deal, phase 1. The real business happens in phase 3, but we're going to skip phase 2 and pretend it exists. The phase 1 trade deal set lofty expectations for purchases that had not been witnessed by American agricultural producers ever. What we've seen so far is a requirement to buy $36 billion worth of goods, and we may edge our way, not actually make 10, so edge our way towards $10 billion, says Gene Soroka, executive director of the Port of Los Angeles. We've got so much to catch up on the back half of this year. This is 2 days ago. They have not ordered it. The Asian nation has recently accelerated purchase of U.S. corn and soybeans, but the transactions may be insufficient to help it reach its target to buy $36.5 billion of agricultural goods this year, 52% more than 2017, as pledged in the January 15th agreement. Now, they dropped their purchases in 2017 on purpose. So even the 52% more than 2017, 2017 was like a 40% drop was the point. It's a 12% of the 40% that was added. This is friggin' ridiculous. Manufactured goods. Blue is 2020. Red is implied year-to-date targets. Agriculture. Energy. So this is what they're supposed to buy in oil. This is what they're really buying in oil and gas. This is what they're supposed to buy in agriculture. This is what they're really buying. This is what they're supposed to buy in manufactured goods. This is what they're really buying. They're less than halfway through. They're more than halfway through the year. They've bought less than half that stuff. So they're not going to meet these standards. If they're supposed to buy halfway up this red column in energy, because that's what they want, and we're midway through the year, there is no situation where there is more travel and production the tail end of this year. I don't care if there's trolls in there. They don't do anything. They just, they do what they're paid to do, and they, whine and moan, and, they're lonely people. It's okay. You know what I mean? This is what he's talking about, just for the record.
Last week, they purchased the two largest days in the history of corn purchase and a massive amount of soybeans.
Because they didn't buy any for 3 months, so they bought the backlog of shit. They didn't add that number to what they already bought. Do some frigging math.
Also,
oh, you can smite trolls, absolutely.
Also, China's.
But I mean, they kind of are self-smiting at this point.
Buying a lot of things, and they're doing that to keep me happy. But they're dreaming about Joe Biden. They would love to have that happen, but I don't think that's going to happen.
No, they're not. They're not buying shit. The blue is what they're buying. The red is what they're supposed to be buying. Mr. Art of the Deal. And, yes, and they are starving. Even at the level that they are underproducing themselves, they lost 700 million pigs last year. They have nowhere near the amount of food that they need to easily feed the populace. And this is what red is the target, blue is reality. The reason they bought a bunch of shit in the last minute and it didn't even catch up to the goal was because they couldn't get anything for 2 months. And they have 1.3 billion people.
They are dreaming about him, and so is Iran dreaming about Joe, and so are numerous other countries. They dream about it because if that happens, they'll own.
You mean like our allies in Ukraine and the Czech Republic and all the people that Russia is strong-arming and assassinating people in their streets?
The United States. And China, I can tell you specifically, will own the United States.
Why? Why? I mean, honestly, the Democrats were pushing TPP coming in, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which isolated China and started a trade deal with every other country in the South China Seas and through the entire, from South Korea and Japan all the way down to Indonesia and Vietnam and Cambodia and all these places, and even a special deal with just Hong Kong, separate from mainland China. That's what TPP was for, to muscle out the mainland China, which was killing all these little countries by usurping all their production, and that's how they got so powerful. But it was the Democrats and everybody that were trying to push through TPP to deal with that part of it, to have a special trade deal with those other countries, and this asshole came in and scuttled it immediately and said, we're not going to have a deal like it or whatever, and China began to be the single production point in that area.
Let that happen.
He doesn't even know what he's talking about.
Remember,
it's sad. I mean, and please tell me again about Sleepy Joe. Listen to this guy's
voice.
They
had the worst year they've had in 67 years prior to the plague coming to our shores. And
yeah, that's because they built millions of buildings out of sand, concrete, shitty steel, and no one was buying them. China's real estate crash is going to make the global crash of 2008 look like a bad game of three-card Monte.
And we are now starting to do really well. We're going to have a very good third quarter, maybe a great third quarter. And we're going to have an incredible next year unless somebody comes up and quadruples taxes, which is what they're talking about doing, and also regulation.
They're not quadrupling taxes. Nobody is asking the corporate tax rate and the tax rate on the rich would go from 21 or 22% to 28%. It was already down from 35. It's still 5 down from where it was under Obama. They're not looking to put it back at 35. No one except a maniac like hyper-communist, and that's one of the reasons why Biden got the nod, is because he doesn't have those folks in his camp. Going from 21 to 28 is reasonable.
We've done more in terms of cutting regulations than any.
Yeah, so enjoy those cancer clusters, West Virginia, and all you Appalachian and Eastern Tennessee and Appalachian Trail white Americans. Enjoy your black lung and asthma and birth defects and flipper babies, courtesy of Donald John Trump's grudge about regulations.
Administration in history by far, whether it was 4 years or 8 years, or in one case more than 8 years, we have in less than 4 years done more regulation cutting by far.
Yeah. So? I mean, in 10 years, tell me if people enjoy that fact. Because they won't blame you. They won't recognize that the regulations that were saving their lives got scuttled during your administration. It'll be too late. Yeah, they'll all have mesothelioma.
And we're doing more as we go. Some of it's statutory. You can only do it at a certain pace. You have to wait 90 days. You have to wait 120 days before you can take the next step. We have
Yeah, you have to check and make sure no one's dying.
tremendous regulation.
Joe riding with no helmet. Yeah, you notice he's able to do that? Trump cannot ride a bicycle, by the way.
Coming. With that being said, we're going to have certain regulations to protect the environment and also safety.
Yeah, and every administration, the Obama administration had a 2-for-1 rule. You go in, you review all the regulations, you set up commissions to do that. The Congress does that all the time. The Senate does it all the time. It's not even part of the administration a lot of times. It just happens normally. You take 2 old regulations, you keep the parts that are still necessary, and you scuttle the stuff because nobody uses gear from 50 years ago. And that's 100% it.
Business optimism has come surging back. In June, it was higher than any month under the previous administration. Think of that. So small business optimism was higher than any month under the previous administration. And that is...
No.
Well, we're going through a pandemic, a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah, small businesses are getting scuttled all over the place.
You have a number like that. And when you see the numbers that we quoted just now as to what's happening with cases and all of the other
all the bullshit?
Hospitalization rates, a lot of tremendous things are happening.
Tremendous.
Industrial production is increasing at the fastest rate ever recorded. I mean, think...
Yeah. Because it was at absolute zero.
These numbers. I mean, how does that happen?
It happens because, okay, when a car is going 60 miles an hour and you add gas, and the car goes to 75 miles an hour, there is a percentage rise, let's say roundabout 20% rise in speed. Okay, or let's say 12%. When your car is stopped and it goes to 30, it is 30 times faster than it was. Do you understand what I mean? That's why they keep quoting the statistical rise in the last little bit, because it was completely locked down. It's not indicative of the health of this. We still got 15% black unemployment. It's the worst black unemployment since 1980. It's the worst general employment since then.
Industrial production is increasing at the fastest rate.
At the fastest rate, percentage rate. So from zero, if you just go in and turn the fucking lights on, suddenly, it's a giant leap forward. It's garbage.
On record, which is ever recorded.
That's because we've never had to shut down our country because a jackass running the place called a contagious disease a hoax for 3 months.
Consumer spending is expected to grow at an astronomical rate this quarter.
Templeton says, why is Trump talking about pardoning Snowden? Even people like Rand Paul support it. I'm confused. Because he's playing with a group of people that they think are the Bernie folks to try and peel them away at the last minute. It's a play for those 28,000 votes that got him the Electoral College last time. It's complete horseshit. It'll be one of those things where, like, yeah, we're going to totally pardon you. Just come over here and go to jail. And then as soon as the election's over, he stays there.
I don't have the number yet.
Ends up Epsteined.
But it looks like it's going to be at an astronomical rate. I want to say that I want college football to come back.
Why? You can't even walk a ramp.
These are strong, healthy, incredible people.
Well, I'm glad you find them attractive. I just don't think you're that type.
These are people that want to play football very badly.
Yeah, what they want is different than what is safe. I want to go bungee jumping, but if you don't let me test the line and I don't know the people running it, I'm not going to, even though I want to really bad.
great talent quarterback. Trevor Lawrence called me on 2 days ago. I spoke to him.
Did he?
A couple of times.
You spoke to him a couple of times, and you're working 24/7, but you're talking to college football
He
players?
said, "Sir, I want to just tell you we want it back. We want to play." And
Sir. It says sir.
he's an incredible quarterback, as you know, from an incredible school, Clemson. And he's going to have a very good future in the
And you took 2 phone calls from him on a day when you're in the middle, yeah.
NFL. He's got every.
You're in the middle of a pandemic. You can kind of intuit. You might even garner that people would rather. I would rather go back to doing the shit I'm very excited to go back to touring stand-up wise. But I'm not going to kill the people who would come see me live, or myself or my family, by bringing a disease home if you can't track and trace it. Good God.
He's got height, accuracy, a strong arm, and he's fast.
Yeah. That's not going to protect him if his immune system freaks out. You can't outrun a cytokine storm.
Other than that, I guess he's got some problems. But he's got the whole package. I watched him last.
I watched his package last.
The running, he was faster than the
coronavirus spreading across the South and Southwest? No, I'm kidding.
Faster than
no one's that fast. It's completely unfair.
The backs that we're guarding, I think he's going to be great. But he's just a great young man. I talked to him actually for a long time. They want to play football.
You talked to him for a long time, twice in the same day. What are you talking about? And then you went golfing.
And he made the statement that he feels he's safer on the field. He's safer on the field than he is outside of the field.
Yeah, he's not.
Feels very safe. And if you look,
I don't give a shit how he feels. He's a college football player.
The SEC, the Big 12, and the ACC are.
Dude is out of breath just naming sports organizations.
Back. They want to.
The football things
come back, and I think they're coming back. The Big 10, the Pac-12 are not, and I wish they would come back. And I just want to say, sort of sad, because I've been fighting for football to come back. We're trying to help the NFL, as long as they stand for our national anthem, as long as they honor our flag and our country. If they start,
they do honor their flag even when they're kneeling. See, our flag is more resilient and powerful than other flags, and it can withstand people setting it on fire, throwing it away, trampling the dirt, because it represents great values like freedom of speech, freedom of expression. The values it represents are so high that you can't actually damage it unless you take away those values, like being against protest.
I'm not going to be helping them much. I might come back, but I won't be watching. Neither will a lot of other people. I think what the NBA did was atrocious. I thought it was disgraceful the way they kneeled. And their ratings are reflective of that. But I think football has...
Yeah, everybody. Let's judge people on ratings right now.
To get smart.
There's nobody in the stands.
The NFL, let's see what happens. But
we'll see. Those people, they're not... No one's showing up for these games. Nobody can, sir. Yeah, well, sir.
They do it. They learned their lesson, I thought, 2 years ago, when people started not watching, and when people really weren't.
Start not watching. Okay.
Going to the game so much. A lot of empty seats all of a sudden. So they got.
Yeah, all of a sudden there's a lot of what could be causing empty seats in live venues right now.
Learn that lesson again if they don't.
Literally, like maybe 6,000 people nationwide didn't go to the games because of people who knelt for the national anthem and the like. And meanwhile, this asshole has emptied out every stadium in the country. We can't go to any of them.
Wise up. But I just want to say, so Trevor Lawrence, great. And
I just want to say, Trevor Lawrence, great. Not Trevor Lawrence, bad.
Some of the great people, SEC, Big 12, ACC, I want to thank them, and I want to congratulate them for coming back. I want to also mention that CNN had a story that will they blame Trump for football in the swing states? What a dishonest story that is. Will they blame me? I'm the one that's pushing them to come back. So they want to try and blame me. So them, and I guess
for letting the disease cascade across the country. Because if China let it into the country, it was really only in Washington State. Also, why is there no Russian travel ban? Russia has more cases and deaths than Europe, most of Europe. I think except for the UK, which is his buddy Boris Johnson, and that's why he let them in for a little while longer. Russia would not allow Americans to come to Russia because of our cases, but Russians can come here, hang out, do whatever, and then go back home. What a curious thing.
New York Times report.
Why would you not put a ban on travel from Russia along with all the European countries? You don't even have to announce it. It would just be part of the... I mean, a lot of people would just assume it's there. That's just weird. What could possibly be behind that?
There was one person in the story. One person said, maybe it's Trump's fault. And I'm the one.
Yeah, you mean somebody from... I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought because your neck gina is brutal today. You mean one person? Just one person. You mean somebody from the NFL who's looking at what the fans are saying?
Pushing him back. So
tell Twitch it's your fault and I created it. Oh, thanks. Gotscoin. I appreciate you guys creating accounts and jumping over to Twitch because I'm not on YouTube. And I apologize I'm not on YouTube, but I'm in YouTube jail right now. So
I'd like to see college football come back. I'd like to see that.
You'd like to see their packages? We heard all that.
Come back proud and strong.
With their package? Again,
very impressed by Trevor.
And his package?
Very impressed by other people that called me.
And their package?
Yeah, players called me, coaches called me. Coach O, you want to coach who's central casting for a movie? If you're doing a movie, you have to put Coach O as the head because this guy is central casting. But when you have guys like...
I mean, he's kind of like balding and bloated and screams a lot and red-faced and goes, come on, what the hell? Like that kind of like he would cast in kind of Friday Night Lights, you know, and then he, in the middle of the big game, he has a heart attack and the team has to go on without him. That kind of central casting?
Nick Saban and others calling for it to come back. They want it to come back. And
yeah, we want shit to come back. That has nothing to do with anything.
These are great athletes. These are not people that seem to be at all susceptible to this horrible disease.
Yeah, they don't seem to be until they're getting their legs amputated because they've been on a ventilator for 5 weeks and their organs are failing. Everybody seems fine until then.
And they want to play football, and we have great...
Yeah. Dude, I want to play football. But if I go out on the field, I'll get creamed because I weigh $165, fully clothed, soaking wet. What you want and what is actually safe and smart are totally different things. And in your brain, they're completely at odds.
So you'll be able to test. And when CNN and the New York Times, the New York Times quoted one person. And I'm the one pushing, so we'll get it straight. I'm the one pushing for football to come back. I think if I wasn't pushing, you wouldn't have anything happening. So,
yeah, if you weren't pushing, people would just go, oh, shit, I guess we'll have professional sports when we get this handled. Maybe push to get the virus handled. Oh, thanks.
With that, we'll take a few questions. Steve, please.
Thank you. The U.S. effort to extend the Iran arms embargo at the UN Security Council fell apart yesterday. When will you trigger...
The U.S. embargo fell apart yesterday. When? What?
A snapback of sanctions on Iran.
Well, we knew what the vote was going to be, but we'll be doing a snapback. You'll be watching it next week. Yeah, you'll be watching it next week.
And if I could follow up, President...
Yeah, we basically torpedoed it from the inside, put a bunch of poison pills in that they couldn't possibly agree to so that we could look like we were being tough with Iran, when in actuality, we can't make a deal to save our lives.
Putin wants to hold
or anybody's, for that matter.
a summit on this subject?
He is
Are you wanting to do that?
Probably not. No, I think we want to wait till after the election. Look, Iran
you think?
wants me to lose so badly. Because if they do, you know, Iran is a whole different ballgame right now. They haven't been sponsoring terror because they don't have very much money to sponsor terror, and they know.
But I thought Obama gave them $150 billion and $1.5 billion in cash. If they don't have any money to sponsor terror, maybe letting them have the money and they spent it all and now it's gone was part of a plan? I thought Obama dumped a shit ton of money on them. If that's not the... What'd they do? Spend it on drugs and money for their sick and hungry? What a bunch of assholes.
We just captured 4 Iranian ships, as you know.
Yeah. Oil tankers going to Venezuela, so Venezuela, your buddy in Venezuela could straw purchase a bunch of oil to other countries.
And we brought them into Houston. They were going to Venezuela. They're not supposed to be doing that. Iran would love to have me defeated if...
Gee, Venezuela has a shit ton of oil. More than any other country. They have bigger reserves. So why would they be buying oil from Iran? Oh, I know. The oligarchs there are basically laundering money by letting the oil come through there because Iran can't sell it to other people. So it goes to Venezuela. Venezuela sells it to other places, so it's Venezuelan oil, and then they pocket the cash. The leadership does.
If I win, which I hope to win, how can you not when you see numbers like this? Both.
Yeah, when you pull a fucking bouquet out of your ass, who cares if it's plastic and covered in shit? It's still flowers.
On the virus and on the economy, I mean, we should win. We should all be keep this incredible thing going. And I built it.
Oh, it's incredible, guys! You don't know how lucky you are. 15% black unemployment, 12% to 10% regular, like everybody else, like cumulative unemployment. Yeah, and 100,000 people dead a day. Keep this going, man. Let's roll this through. A little bit of herd immunity. Let it roll.
And I'll build it again. I've already, I think the hardest part is done in terms of the economy, and that's
the hardest part is done. So if you're out of business, if you don't have a job, if you've lost your lease, or if your restaurant is shut down, or any of this, I mean, hard work's done. It's really because you're weak. I mean, it's not because, I mean, this is a win.
Without
I've gotten rid of all those unsightly mailboxes on your corner.
Additional funds from Nancy Pelosi. They should have put the things in, whether you call it the CARE Act or Phase 1, Phase 2, Phase 3, but they didn't do that. You know, they put it at the end, things that they're asking for that have nothing to do with Corona, that have everything to do with
the economic impact of the virus.
Left politics.
Mr. President, this week more than 40 states received letters from your postal service saying that those ballots for November 3rd might not make it in time. As president, isn't it your responsibility, since this is your postal service, to meet this critical need?
Well, we have a man in there for 2 months. He's a very talented man. He's a brilliant business person. He's done great. He's a very nice man also. And
and he also has stock in the company that when the post office can't actually meet the needs logistically of sorting the mail, they outsource it to a company that he has $30 million worth of stock in. So if we have to do all this extra mail-in ballot shit, and the post office has to get it done under federal mandate, what they'll do is outsource it to a private company, and that company will get a shit ton of extra money. I mean, forget about the fact that he's going to make so much extra money because all the mail sorting machines have been taken out this Christmas. The billion Christmas cards that go out. Never mind that. This dude is insider trading.
Lewis, he is working very hard. But as you know, the Democrats aren't approving
hard is what you work
proper
when you
funding
can't work
for
smart.
postal. And they're not approving the proper funding for this ridiculous thing that they want to do, which is all mail-in voting. If universal, you could call it mail-in.
No, they don't want universal mail-in voting. Everybody should have the option, because you don't know who's going to die. You don't know who's going to get sick. 43%/41%/40% of people who get this are old. The rest of them aren't. And it's an increasing number.
Voting. Again, absentee voting is great. You request, I'm an absentee voter because...
Why? Why is he an absentee voter? He's got Air Force One. He could make a big play of flying down, voting in person. He's able to do that. He could do it first thing in the morning on Election Day, or he could vote early even while he's campaigning in Florida, and make a point that you can go down and vote early in person at any of these available sites to make sure that his voters and every other voter in the country knows, because he's president of the entire United States, not just his supporters, can go and vote. Why does he have to absentee vote? I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't actually live in Florida. He's 100% absentee.
Requested, I got, and then I sent in my vote. So that works out very well. That's what we've had
Yeah, that's how this works.
Now they want to send in millions and millions of ballots. And you see what's happening. They're being lost. They're being discarded. They're finding them in piles. It's going to be a catastrophe.
You're talking about the city council election in Paterson, New Jersey, which is not a federal election, does not meet federal standards. And the 4 people who did that shit were arrested and are going to jail.
So, and this is beyond the post office. But Louis
Why?
Joy is working very
A criminal.
hard. The post office has for decades lost billions and billions of dollars.
It doesn't lose money. It provides a service that is invaluable to everybody in this country who communicates via the mail, gets their bills that way, pays their bills that way, receives medications, receives information, sells things.
Like numbers today that are unthinkable. And what they want to do now is hit the post office with millions of ballots from...
Yeah, but one of the ways if you're making the case that the post office can't handle it, then why are you removing sorting machines and destroying them?
Certain states. And if you look at what happened in New York and Virginia and various other places...
Virginia was a private organization aligned with the Republicans who sent out a bunch of bullshit sign up to vote by mail applications that had the wrong return address on them that were sent to dead people and pets and purged names because they bought the list from a private seller.
A catastrophe. They'll lose...
Yeah, and so if you signed up to do that, it's not that you would get to vote when you don't deserve to vote. It would be a person who deserves to vote would not actually get a ballot when the time came, and perhaps it would be after the time when they need to register to get a mail-in vote, so they would have no other choice than to vote provisionally or to go vote in person, even though it might endanger their lives. This is dumb.
20% of the votes. Nobody knows what's happening. So we're going to see what happens. But I do say this, universal mail-in voting is going to be catastrophic.
Utah does it. Colorado does it.
It's going to make our country a laughingstock all over the world.
Why?
And send out millions of ballots and look at all of the tests. Look, you've seen them. And there are many, far more. Just look at New York. Look at New Jersey. Look at the catastrophe in New Jersey.
Local city council?
And New Jersey had more than just Paterson. Look at what's going
No, it didn't.
on in Virginia. Look at what...
Virginia was a private company that was literally trying to stop people from voting.
Happening with this...
Not filling fake votes.
In voting. It's a disgrace. Absentee is good. Mail-in...
Okay, universal absentee ballots. You happy now? I'm now calling it universal absentee voting. Done. Okay? Now fuck off.
Universal is very, very bad. There's no way they're going to get it accurately.
I don't know. They made the classic monster movies, Universal.
They're off by 20 and 30%. And this is beyond post office.
No, they didn't. They threw out 20% of the fake mail-in ones that these dudes brought in because they bundled them physically, brought them in themselves. They got arrested. They didn't fill them out. They were the ones they were thrown out because they belonged to dead people. They were filled out artificially, and they came from pets. They didn't match the rolls at the county assessor's office, at the electoral office there. They have to match.
Now, with that being said, they want money for the universal mail-in ballots. And they're not getting it. You know why? Because of them. We want money to go to...
Why wouldn't you sign an executive order to do it? If you don't like the other shit, you signed an executive order on some things.
People. They want money in order to bail out states that have done very poorly.
So don't sign that part. Do an executive order. Go out and make a point. I'm going to sign an executive order giving money to the post office from other funds that I have available, discretionary funds. I'm going to do it out of the COVID money, some of it that I didn't spend that we got back from the giant corporations that took out PPP loans that they weren't supposed to get.
The states that have done poorly, you know them as well as I do. These are run by Democrats, usually radical left Democrats. You take
all the red states run a deficit. All the blue states pay for the red states.
Look at what's happening in Portland.
The exception of Texas, because that's a size thing and they have oil.
And we'll go into Portland. We have to be asked. We'll go into Portland, straighten it out. And
you are already in Portland. You were asked to leave. It's calming down because of that. There's still assholes doing shit there, but that's Portland.
1 hour, like happened in Minneapolis. We'll go straighten it out in 1 hour. We will straighten
It didn't get straightened out in 1 hour.
it out so
You were there for days.
fast, but they have to ask us. So they need money, but
Radical left, whatever.
not willing to approve the money
You're in the wrong place.
they need. If they can't get the money that they need for universal mail-in voting, I don't see how they can have it. And that's not only post office,
So that's what you're trying to do.
it's also for the voting itself.
Follow on that, Mr. President. Does Postmaster DeJoy have your backing for the actions that he's taken in the last several weeks?
Yeah, he's a fantastic man. He wants to make the post office great again. You ever hear the expression? He wants to
Yeah, so why would you pull mailboxes off the street and destroy sorting machines?
make the post office great again. The post office is a catastrophe.
Mail sorting machines nationwide, that's one of the things.
I don't
that
know.
he's-
I don't know what he's doing. I can
I don't care what he's doing. We've got a slogan and I'm sticking to
only
it.
tell you he's a very smart man. He'll
Yeah, he's smart enough to have $30 million in one of the competitors for the sorting machines. And if you take the sorting machines out of the actual post office buildings and they have a shit ton of mail come in, they have a mandate to get the mail out, so they have to pay second, subsidiary companies, private companies, to do it for them. See how that works?
be a great postmaster general, and he needs, obviously, if you're going to do these millions of ballots out of nowhere, he's going to obviously need funding. But the Democrats aren't willing to provide other things, and therefore they're not going to get the funding for that. But you are going to have a catastrophic situation.
Yeah, if you don't have the money to take care of it. So why wouldn't you give that money?
With universal mail-in votes. And on top of it, the Democrats aren't willing to give the people the money and the post office the money.
They want to give the money.
You said a catastrophic situation is going to happen, but what are you doing to ensure that that doesn't happen? Because wouldn't these problems raise questions about the election results if you win?
Well, the problem with the mail-in voting, number one, you're never going to know when the election's over, okay? I mean, they called the election in New York for Carolyn Maloney. They shouldn't have done that. I think you should redo that election. And you know the opponent is screaming. They can't believe it.
Oh, my God. Have we ever had a close vote where it came down to a couple of different late votes? Has that ever happened before? Has anybody ever complained that they shouldn't have won or they shouldn't have lost?
Well, it's a lost balance of...
I don't know how it's legal that he has stock in these subsidiaries that the post office hires. It is clearly a conflict of interest.
It's a total mess. And they called it for her. The reason is because I've been using it as a case. So, look.
No, they called it because it took them about a week to sort it out, and then they did.
We are going...
This is like the same thing with Minneapolis. We were going to go in there, and right after Terrence Floyd told everybody to stand down, we came in and everybody stood down because we were there.
To have an election that takes place on a beautiful day, November 3rd. And usually at the end of the evening, they say, Donald Trump has won the election. Donald Trump is your new president. Whatever they say, you know what? You're not going to know this.
Yeah, they will. Yeah, if they're prepared to do it, people are going to vote early. He wants them to vote last minute because he thinks they're going to fake a vaccine right before the election. We've come up with it. We did it. Fastest one ever. Nobody's tested it. We skipped half of the safety precautions, but it's there. And then they'll go, oh, well, he must have done this. I'm going to go vote for Donald Trump. He solved the problem or whatever. And then, of course, everybody's going to die because of the level of mercury in it or some shit because they didn't bother to test it, or we're all getting the Russian one or a placebo. And then, but it'll be too late because he's already in. That's what he's hoping for.
Possibly, if you really did it right, for months or for years. Because these ballots are all going to be lost. They're going.
Why would they be lost?
Be gone. And just take a look at a smaller basis. But it's great tests. We're doing tests. I mean, these are.
I would be glad to play on with Bradley Perry on Twitch. We'll figure that out.
You could call them polls. You could call them tests. Look at what's happening all over the country, where you have universal mail-in.
You mean Colorado and Utah?
The ballots are lost. There's fraud. There's theft. It's happening
So give extra money and make sure there's security.
all over the place. Now, we're going to do it with this whole vast...
Well, Trump isn't going to win. But secondly, how do you trust that he won if this dude is trying to undermine the entire election and not let everyone vote?
Section of the country, it's crazy.
No, you like the Republicans. Everybody who's a Trump supporter is going to take the Russian vaccine. That's what you're getting. You're going to line up behind a military truck. We know how this works. The maggots, the Trumpsters, they're going to be the first to show their fealty to Donald Trump. They're, of course, going to be the first people to get his vaccine. I mean, why wouldn't you? Why would you not make vaccines great again?
About mail, you're not talking about prescriptions.
You have made it so plain that you are opposed and do not trust mail-in voting. Is your Postmaster General using the agency of the Postal Service to create delays?
No, not at all. He would love to see it happen. I didn't speak to him about it, but I will
Bullshit. That's a lie, and that'll come up.
tell you this. I would imagine he would say, number one, they didn't give me the funding for it because it's sitting in Congress because they want $1 trillion to bail out states, just so you understand what they want. They want $1 trillion to bail out badly run, Democrat-run states, okay? That's what they want.
The bills are all stopped in the Senate.
They're not giving the money to the post office. They have to give the money to the post
The
office.
steps the Postmaster General is taking are creating some delays now.
No, the steps he's creating, yeah.
Are you trying to discourage?
No, not at all. The steps that he's taken are trying to stop the tremendous losses that have taken place for many, many years. He's trying to streamline the post office and make it great.
Guys, he's streamlining right now before an election.
Again,
He's
okay?
streamlining.
For an election, sir?
Well, wait a minute. You just threw, look, I just read last night that now New Jersey's going to try the universal mail-in voting. Well, they didn't know this, so now all of a sudden New Jersey's going to be hit with millions of ballots to be sent.
They do 1 billion Christmas cards every year.
They didn't know anything about this. So how does a post office, how does a postal service...
Well, certainly don't if you destroy the sorting machines. And I'll tell you how they do it. You want to know how they do it? You know how New Jersey is going to handle all this? They're going to outsource the mail sorting to companies. And the biggest one is the one that the Postmaster General has stock in. $30 million. So tell me again about this swamp draining horse shit.
that doesn't know about it. Now all of a sudden New Jersey's supposed to take out, and millions of ballots are going to be sent all over New Jersey. And if you look at some of the things they say, like take the state of Nevada.
Okay, let's hear it. Let's hear Nevada.
Take that little scam that's going on over there with the clubhouse politician governor. Take that, where the votes don't even have to be in till they get counted 7 days after November 3rd.
That's because you have 7 days. That's always been the law. The ballot, you have till midnight on election day to vote, meaning that as long as it is postmarked on election day, it has to be counted. Now, if you do that and it takes 7 days for it to get there, your vote is not going to be the deciding vote. Most people vote 7 days before election day. That's what he's afraid of, because they think they've got some sort of October surprise thing that's going to change everyone's mind, or that they can pad the numbers going into the election and make him look better than he is. That's what they're hoping for. He's hoping for a last-minute salvage on this. This sweaty bastard is begging for any extra hour to try and pretend. Yeah, and a clubhouse governor. Yeah, he's doing this from his golf club.
That means if Nevada's a very important state, I think we have a great chance of winning that state. If the votes don't have to be in for 7 and they're not counting the votes 7 days later, that means how are they?
That's the final date. That's not, they don't all go out. Not everybody is going to vote on election day by mail. They'll get them a couple of weeks early, and then they'll send them in, and they'll get counted starting on election night. And most of the people in this country who are voting by mail are going to mail their vote as soon as they get their ballot. That's what he's afraid of.
To predict a winner on November 3rd.
Mr. President,
It's not
whether a ballot was automatically sent to somebody, or if...
No, absentee is okay.
Okay, but once the ballot gets into the mail, it doesn't matter. The workers have to sort it. So the bottom line is there must be more resources per post office across.
But the
country.
Democrats are not, they are not approving the resources. You're right, there has to be more resources, I agree, because all of a sudden the post office is tripling up in size. The problem is, the Democrats are not approving the funds necessary. It's in there. Now, they have 25 billion, I've seen 15 billion, I've seen a lot of money. I don't know how you can spend that much, but that's what they're saying. They're saying.
This dude's supposed to be a billionaire.
So not only do they want $1 trillion to hand out as welfare to all these states that are run by Democrats doing badly,
Yeah, none of it's going to Tennessee.
want $25 billion for the post office, but they're not approving it. Now, what I want is a lot of money, thousands of dollars, to go to people because they need money. They really, despite the good numbers, despite numbers like that.
Yeah, why would you need to do that? Manufacturing, retail sales are at an all-time high. Why would you need to give people money? How does that make any sense? Why in the world? Yeah, the billions of ballots. Why in the world? Can anybody explain to me? Trumpers, maggots, you guys are out there. You can make math great again. Explain to me why you need to send a shit ton of money out, thousands of dollars to people, if retail sales are higher than they were before the pandemic. If used cars are flying off the lots and car manufacturers, they can't even keep up with demand.
They need
why in the world
money to live, and I want that to happen.
Why do they need money to live if retail sales are through the friggin' roof?
The Democrats don't care about that. They just
did you not hear? There was a man standing right where you were standing, and he said that literally small business confidence is the highest it's ever been than any time under Obama. Why would you have to send cash in that kind of an economic environment? How I'm curious.
To give bailout money to their friends running big states poorly.
Mr. President, sure you looking at the cameras, but you want to give the United States, the people of the United States, that mailing.
Do you want to give Edward Snowden a pardon and bring him back? You once suggested that.
Well, I'm going to look at it. I mean, I'm not that aware of the Snowden situation, but I'm going to start looking at it. There are many, many people. It seems to be a split decision. And many people think that.
Yeah, no time for leadership. It's a split decision. Shit. Honest to God, man. Honest to God. It's a split decision. You're the president. You're supposed to be the deciding voice. This is like, where is this artificial real leadership concept? This is a joke. How is he not embarrassed to talk like this? It's a split decision.
Should be somehow treated different?
Yes, and Snowden gave aid to the enemy. Yes, he did. And especially from the Republican side. Snowden can kiss my ass. Reality Winner we'll talk about. And certainly Chelsea Manning. But Snowden? Please. And I think he should do some time like Chelsea did and then be on his way. He's been dicking around in Russia. If he'd have just stayed here and gone to jail, he'd be out like Chelsea was. And he's only, whatever.
And other people think he did very bad things. And I'm going to take a very good look at it, okay? I mean,
yeah, it just happened. So how could you know?
I've seen people that are very conservative and very liberal, and they agree on the same issue. They agree both ways. I'm going to take a look at that very strongly, Edwards.
Sure, why not,
Snowden, yeah, please.
Do you agree with Dr. Robert Redfield, who earlier this week said if America...
Dr. Redfield.
doesn't follow public health guidelines, we could be in store for one of the worst falls we've ever faced from a public health perspective?
No, I mean, you can't compare it to 1917. That was incredible.
18.
That was the worst ever by far. That was, you look at that, they look.
No, it wasn't. The plague was. But you can't say plague because you use plague now.
Possibly 100 million people. No, I don't agree with that. But if you look at these numbers, they're coming down very substantially. And I do believe that Americans, many are wearing masks, which is a good thing. Again, some people thought that you shouldn't wear masks. You know, when this whole thing started, Dr. Fauci, who I like and respect, said don't wear masks.
No, he said stay home and stop buying up all the masks. We don't have enough PPE for doctors and nurses and staff, you asshole.
Okay, and so did Dr.
He didn't say you shouldn't wear a mask. They said we don't have enough masks. Stop buying up all the N95 respirators and surgical masks.
You know, and then all of a sudden it was like everybody should wear a mask, and that's okay.
No, it wasn't. It was saying if we're going to go back out again, you'll need to wear some kind of a mask.
Could change their mind. But
they didn't change their mind.
Wash your hands, good hygiene, all of those things. I think people are really doing it to a level that they've never done before.
Yeah, because they weren't in a pandemic before.
And when you look,
let me show you a chart of hand washing. It's totally going up. It's so wonderful.
When you look at the numbers, the way the numbers are coming out, I mean, it's very impressive when you see what's happening. By the way, Florida doing well. You see that? And hospitalizations, and you know, normally you would have had to build more like we did for the first surge. We've done it right. We closed it up. We had the greatest economy in history. We closed it up.
It took them 2 weeks to talk him into doing this.
We understand the disease now. Nobody knew what was hitting us, right?
If you guys watched back in, some of you may be new. Some of you may have not seen my radio show that happens every Saturday. Over the last 10 years I've been doing it. You know, it's a little progressive station. It's an indie station. You know, it's completely expected that you might not have seen this. But December of last year, when I was doing the show from my dad's house over Christmas, I was saying, it's coming, and you better wash your hands and cough into your elbow and sneeze in your elbow and stay home if you've got any kind of symptoms, and because it's on its way. I knew that, and I didn't have the CDC and the NSA paying attention.
Nobody knew that old people would be very, very susceptible.
Yes, they did. Old people are always more susceptible to infectious disease. Always. 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 Thanks, Cynthia.
Especially if they have heart and diabetes problems and other problems, that old people would be very susceptible and young people would be extremely good with it. If you look at the percentage.
They're not extremely good with it. Their immune systems don't freak out because of lack of experience with coronaviruses in general. They haven't had so many that their body freaks out. It's not about strength or resilience. They're not building antibodies faster.
There are a tiny percentage that have problems, especially the big problem. So, no, I think that we're doing very well. We're on our way, and we're also opening up our economy, and our economy is going to set records. And if stupid people aren't elected next year, we're going to have one of the greatest years that we've ever had.
Oh, so he's endorsing Biden. That's good.
Mr. President,
Jennifer, go ahead, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. You've already taken action on TikTok and WeChat.
Yeah.
Which other
Oh, yeah. Fine. Let's nail this down.
Chinese tech companies are you looking at banning from operating in the United States?
Well, the big
Weibo, Huawei.
Is Huawei.
Apple.
You're right. Huawei's not here, and Huawei I'm not allowing. And
That's because the head of Huawei got arrested in Canada.
Old European.
Literally the entire intelligence community was like, no. Boris Johnson was, this is ridiculous.
And others.
TikTok is malware. Don't use it until it's sold.
Australia has been fantastic as an example, but Huawei's not coming here. And we told certain countries that we're thinking about Huawei, that's okay, you can use them, but we're not going to be sharing intelligence, and they've all backed away. You look at the UK.
Now, all of Europe was already on we got to get rid of Huawei, and then he fell in line behind it. He waited on it. The only reason he was dicking around with it, and England was dicking around with it, was because they were waiting for this deal to go through, and he was talking to them like, don't piss him off. Europe was telling Huawei to go pound sand already. I was in China 7 times over the last year and a half.
Looked like they were going that way, and now they've backed out. Scotland Yard.
Scotland Yard?
There are
Sherlock Holmes.
We're looking at other things. Yes, we are.
Mr. President, you say that you want the mail to be processed as quickly as it can, but why is your postal service dismantling these mail sorting machines across the country at this time?
Well, you'll have to ask him. I know this. He's a very efficient operator, a very good operator, but again, he needs...
He's doing it so he can outsource the mail sorting because there's a federal mandate to deal with the votes in a timely fashion. It's against the law. This asshole could go to jail if the votes don't reach their destination in a reasonable amount of time. If they are postmarked before Election Day, they must be counted. So even if it takes a while, they're going to be counted. If he can drag ass all he wants to, but if they get into the mail and they get sorted and they reach their destination, they're going to be counted. And if he's found to have delayed them in any way, that's interfering with the mail as a federal crime. That's 5 years for every count. This dude could be sentenced to 1 million years in jail. This is ridiculous. He's doing it because he must deliver them on time. So if you hold off and you hamstring the Postal Service, the only way that they will be able to make the deadline is to hire his company, which he has $30 million worth of stock in, and that extra load, including and on top of Christmas, will make the worth of his stock go from $30 to $90 million. That's why. His Postmaster General really doesn't give a rat's ass if Trump gets reelected. I mean, I'm sure he likes the job. But he's looking at making $90 million by the end of the year, plus God knows what he's making if there's dividends and other stuff.
It's money to operate if you're going to hit him with millions of ballots. And if you ask him,
and he's going to outsource using that money last minute because it will get passed. But if he's dismantled all the machines and taken away all the mailboxes, then it will be up to states to put out, mail drop boxes, which they'll be able to do. But the sorting part of it, they will have to outsource to his company. Drain the swamp, my ass.
He'll tell you very nicely, you have the money, it's sitting there, it's ready to go.
And it's ready to go right in his pocket.
But the Democrats don't want to approve it, but I want money for other things too. I want money to go to people so they can live very nicely, because China caused the problem.
So why would you need money to people again? Greatest retail sales, more used cars are being sold, like auto production. Manufacturing is higher than it was before.
Let's talk about people on the campaign. Will you say now that Kamala Harris is eligible to run and be vice president?
Who gives a shit what he thinks? Yes, she is.
President based on being born in Oakland, California.
So I have nothing to do with that. I read something about it, and I will say that he is a brilliant lawyer.
He's a moron.
He wrote an article about it. So
it's stupid.
I know nothing about it, but it's not something.
That hasn't stopped you before. I wouldn't want to say anything because I don't know shit about it. Meanwhile, let me talk about nine other things I don't know shit about.
Thing that bothers me.
But sir, when you do that, it creates...
Why do you say that?
Lost the lawsuit. What lawsuit? Hal lost the lawsuit. Hal, tell everyone what you had to pay. What lawsuit did I lose? I've never had a lawsuit against me.
Just don't know about it, but it's not something that we will be pursuing. Let me put it differently. Let me put it differently. Don't tell me what I know.
No one can tell you what you know. We can all explain what you don't know, like math.
Put it differently. Let me put it differently. To me,
put it coherently. That's all I ask.
It doesn't bother.
I'm jealous of the greatest president ever. You're right. I am jealous of Obama a little bit. He's a good-looking man.
At all. I don't know about it. I read one quick article. The lawyer happens to be a brilliant lawyer, as you probably know. He wrote an article saying there could be a problem.
He's got that there are good people on both sides energy right now.
It's not something that I'm going to be pursuing.
Is she eligible, sir?
I just told you. I have not gone into it in great detail. If she's got a problem, you would have thought that she would have been vetted. You would have thought that she would have been vetted by Sleepy Joe. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President, sir, I just want to ask you, after 3 weeks of absolutely no deal, you have been ragging on Democrats constantly. Why not come to the table personally and sit with them? I know that Speaker Pelosi...
Because he's not a deal maker. Someone else wrote Art of the Deal. And when Art of the Deal was written, he was losing more money that year than anyone in the history of New York real estate.
And minority...
He's not a deal maker. He's a deal maker like Coke is life.
Leadership were in the Oval Office in December 2018. That did not go so well. Everybody in the world saw that. Why not invite them? If they don't want to come, that's on them.
So I think we've done very well. We've had 3
Who's we?
phases. We're into phase 4. We've gotten everything we wanted.
No, you haven't. Well, you've gotten the Democrats wanted double of what you were asking for, so the Democrats got what they wanted.
We've also gotten a great economy. All you have to do is take a look at these.
Yeah, look at these. Look at these. They're drawn. I got a Sharpie out.
Our economy is doing good, but we want different things than them. I want money for the people. They want money to bail out Democrat governors and Democrat mayors. Listen to me. Listen to me. My people.
So why don't you go deal at the table? I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't understand the numbers, and he'll get dizzy and scream at someone and stomp out. And Nancy Pelosi will call him on his ignorance, and he'll be embarrassed.
People are doing very good, and my people call me. They're in the office. They call me. They call me when it's right.
And then you're like, I can't talk to you right now. I've got, I'm taking my second call of the day with a college football player. Just let me know when the Democrats solve the problem for me. Click.
Nobody knows the deal better than I do.
Everyone knows the deal better than you do. Everyone who was fired on The Apprentice was a producer's decision. He shit his pants because he had to say arbitrage on national television on a live episode.
When it's right, I'll meet. But right now, it's not right. They want $1 trillion.
You never met on any of them. If you got everything you wanted and the Democrats got everything they wanted, and you never met, why would you think it would help now?
To bail out badly run states. They're Democrat. They're Democrat states. Will something happen? Possibly. But I want to tell you, the country is doing very well right now. We can live very happily with it, without it. But I'd like to do it because I want to give money to the people.
If we can do without it, then why are you holding the post office funding up for it if we don't need it? Seriously, this is embarrassing now. This is how dumb he is. He's like, we need to have this money for people, and they're holding it up because they want this money for, but I'm not going to fund the post office because I want this other money for people, and they want for, like, if we don't need it, then why are you dealing at all? What leverage do they possibly have?
Well, I want to put money into the people's hands. They want to put money into politicians' hands so that the politicians don't look
Oh, you mean like the Postmaster General, for example?
stupid. Okay.
No, Cosmic Rose, I'm not on YouTube. I put it afterward. I loaded today's show, so it's playing now.
Steve Lynch.
You've had some differences with your Defense Secretary, Mark Esper. Do you have confidence in his leadership there?
Mark Esper? Did you call him
Mark Esper?
Esper? Oh, okay. Some people call him Esper. No, I get a...
They do? Why? Because he's a yes man? Because you only... That's the joke name you give for him? Because he does... You hired him because he'll do what he's told? Holy shit, dude. Don't give away the game.
With him? I get along with him fine. He's fine. Yeah.
Mark Esper. Holy shit.
No problem. I consider firing everybody. At some point.
But I only do it if I'm told.
At some point, that's what happens. Jennifer, do you have something, Jennifer? You're working so hard.
Do you think that there will be anyone else who leaves your cabinet after the election, sir?
So if we have the success, I think we have a silent majority, the likes of which has never been seen before. I think you...
Why would you have a silent majority? Your fans are only loud.
Read about it, where 62% of the people say they're not even telling the truth on polling. And with...
Well, look, just because 62% of your supporters are liars does not mean that you have a good shot at this.
Polling is fake, where they do registered voters and where they do many more Democrats than they do Republicans. Same as happened last time. But this year, I think we have much more enthusiasm. Maybe those people back there would understand it better than anybody. But I think there's more enthusiasm for...
You guys are supposed to yell when he does that. You're supposed to go woohoo and clap. You're at his golf course.
2020 than there was even for 2016. And 2016...
Yeah, they still haven't done it.
...was a record. You found that out. And I believe there's much more enthusiasm now than...
No, there isn't.
Was even in 2016.
Not by any measure.
We have a silent majority, the likes of which nobody has seen. I just looked there.
Why would they be a silent majority if the enthusiasm is higher? They're so enthusiastic they can't even speak. Ma'am, are you a Republican or a Democrat? I'll just mark her down as a Democrat. Say she's for Biden. What do you think?
Thousands of boats in lakes, rivers, and oceans. Thousands and thousands of boats. It's called Boaters for Trump.
Boaters. Oh, he's got that boater thing locked up.
The Trump Pence. There's signs all over. Some of the boats have 10 flags on them. They're incredible.
You do realize flags don't vote, right?
There are thousands. We did nothing to do this. This is just generic. It just happened.
It's just generic. You mean organic, dipshit? Oh my God. You mean organic, dummy? Generic? This is just generic?
Let me just tell you, I think the level...
Some of them, they literally, it's just a black stripe with a white flag on it that just says Trump, not 2020, no branding at all. It's just generic. It's like generic beer or any of that stuff. It just goes by. It's just a white boat with a black stripe on it. Is that a Trump boat? No, it says beans.
Of enthusiasm for what we're doing. We want...
Why would they be a silent majority then?
On order. We want low taxes. They want to raise your taxes. They want to...
It went down from 35 to 21. They want to put it back up to 28. Calm yourself.
They want to have open borders.
No, they don't.
And they want to defund the police. How do you win on that? They want to go to Texas and they want to go to Pennsylvania and they want to stop fracking, and Ohio, they want to stop.
No, they want to phase out oil using fracking temporarily, but no new fracking leases, which, by the way, a lot of your friends in the energy industry like, because they get to a toehold on their energy expenditures.
Fracking? They're against steel. They're
against steel. They want our buildings made out of rubber.
Anything with petroleum, the word petroleum in it.
Yeah, they hate Vaseline. Flies in the Vaseline we are, what's real and what's... Don't sing that. Why? It's petroleum jelly. Without petroleum. Look, the only people that get squeamish around the mention of Vaseline is Mike Pence and maybe Jesper at this point. We don't know.
You won't have a country. These people are crazy.
What are you talking about?
Go ahead.
As far as your cabinet goes, do you think you'll see more turnover in your cabinet?
Well, I don't know. I think for next year, I mean, generally speaking, a lot of times I understand if we win, President will ask for the resignation of everybody and then bring back the people he wants. That's happened.
Really? Is that how it works? Just fire everybody on one night? It's just kind of like a Friday night massacre? What are you talking about?
Before, Steve. And I could see something like that happening. I think that...
Yeah, and I figured, hey, I'll just fire everybody so I won't have the uncomfortable nature of talking to the people that I'm firing for a reason, and I'll just keep the other people. So how weak-willed as a leader must you be to fire everyone and only hire some people back so that you don't have to look people in the eye when you fire them? This is moronic.
Makes sense. No, I have a very good cabinet. I mean, with few exceptions. I wouldn't say I'm thrilled with everybody, frankly. But overall, I think we have a very good cabinet. I think I will say this. No administration, none. No administration, first 3.5 years.
Has done more than this administration. Yeah, that's true. You've had to fire more people. You've had more people step down because of investigations. You literally, I don't know of any single administration in my lifetime that had their AG step down. The AG was the first person to endorse the candidate before they were president. Then they were put in position. Then they were dismissed. And then the candidate themselves, the president themselves, actively campaigned against them. That seems to be new.
Done anywhere near what we've done.
Well, that's true. No one has had this kind of drop in unemployment. This is actually a higher drop in employment than the 2008 crash. Even Bush doesn't own that.
300, we will have at the end of the first term, 300, maybe more, federal judges, including Court of Appeals, 2 Supreme Court justices.
A fly.
Nobody has done this. Take a look at
It's just trying to nest in your neck-gina.
Look at what we've done. The biggest tax cuts in history, biggest regulation cuts in history, rebuilt our military, took care of our vets. We have a 91% approval rating from the vets. Nobody.
Please do VA choice again, you asshole.
has ever had a 91% approval rating before. I guarded the Second Amendment. They wanted to
You guarded the Second Amendment.
destroy the Second Amendment. Take a look.
No, we don't want bump stocks and machine pistols and 60-round clips on playgrounds.
At Kamala. They want to destroy the Second Amendment. And as you know, Joe...
Based on what? No machine guns, dickhead.
Has no control over anybody. He has no control over himself. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Says the man wearing an adult diaper. He says Biden has no control over himself. This man wears a diaper all the time. Some people have to. I understand. Some people are incontinent, and that's an issue, and I feel bad for those people. But apparently he does it just because he freaks out.
Thank you.
Yeah, bye. Can we find the... That's just ridiculous. At least he's playing the Hail to the Chief so I don't get hit with a copyright strike. Can we find out what his charts were? Are there pictures of his charts? Because, let's see. I didn't see the first one. Let's see, Trump charts. Let's see if I can find. It's probably going to be the stuff from the Axios. Yeah, because I don't know what. Let's see, maybe he has it on his website. They put it up. No. No. Yeah, no, I noticed he's not posting any of those. Let's see. He's not, Trump's site, they're not posting any of the charts that he was talking about. You would think if they were all real and shit, that they would put them up, right? Biden staffers rush the press out of the room before Biden can answer any questions. They're signing like 900 pages of documents. They have a deadline. Voters can't. It's worse than just Patterson. There are 31 municipal elections in New Jersey in June. All vote by mail. Nearly 1 in 10 ballots. 9.6 across the state were rejected as invalid. Yeah, you reject the invalid ones. That doesn't mean that they didn't get in. That's the whole point. The standard is very high. I don't see him putting it up there. Case study, A reports, third largest city. 20% of ballots were thrown out. Yeah. The Dem AG is prosecuting 4 people for fraud. By the way, look at this case, by the way. This is New Jersey adopting mail-in ballots. This is the thing he keeps talking about, Patterson, New Jersey. They're going to mail in the ballot, talking about this. Let's see. News of the announcement, which was first reported in the New Jersey Globe, came to the day when Donald Trump poses the won't be able to handle the influx. In reality, there is no widespread voter fraud in U.S. elections, and nonpartisan experts say neither party automatically benefits when states expand access to mail-in voting. Where's the... I don't know if they have the... 50% rise. We also provided in-person voting capacity, at least 50% in each county, and at least it was a success. Not perfect, but overwhelmingly a success. So you still have the ability, to vote in person along with it. Then Trump said, they want $3.5 million, They want, let's see, claims they'll be fraudulent. Later in an evening conference, he said he would not veto a bill that contains the funding, but continued to claim without evidence that mail-in voting would lead to widespread voter fraud. Well, that's the joke of it, isn't it? Ultimately, that he's ultimately going to sign whatever they put in front of him. Because, leadership. Thanks, ASAP. Appreciate it. Thank you guys for joining me. I don't normally jump on for a second time in the same day because we have a radio show today or whatever, but because this came up, I thought we ought to knock it off and stuff. I I appreciate the creativity of the trolls today. It was adventurous, but still, you guys got to try harder, man. There's math involved now. It's going to be tough. November 3rd at 6 a.m., I will be voting. You and me both. Actually, I'll be voting beforehand because I'm going to go vote in person. In-person early voting in California starts October 5th. So October 5th, I will be at the registrar's office voting in person. Hey, Noel, absolutely. Sorry to keep you up. I know it's late for you. I know it's late. I know you're weary. I know your plans don't include me. It's ass in the morning. All right. So, Trump campaign was supposed to show proof to the Pennsylvania judge yesterday of a widespread mail-in voter fraud. Yeah, they're not going to find any. They just aren't. Yeah, no sleep for the wicked. Hal, I would be more puzzled if folks were not trying to silence you on YouTube. Thank you for the truth. Absolutely. I mean, that's clearly, why I'm getting hit, because my number was growing, and I'm very proud of that fact. And we will always find a way around it that will be over, not under. And Twitch is a great place to do it. So thanks, Twitch, for the T-shirt, and I appreciate you guys boosting my numbers like crazy by coming over there. Twitch.tv/Hal Sparks. You can also go to halsparks.live. I think that takes you there as well. So, you're no question quality and speak true words. Thank you. So will Trump release his taxes? You're adorable. Oh, it sounds like a New Zealander. You guys. His tax returns are like a circle, but not like a real circle, like a freaky circle. Yeah, if you haven't watched the morning show and want to chat, go over to YouTube. Yeah, it's uploaded right now and it's airing over there. You can do that. I'm going to start doing that. Thank you for being Patreon supporters. I appreciate it, you guys. I'm going to let you go because I know it's Saturday night. Go have some fun, relax. I've got some singing to do. I'm going to go do some work. I adore you guys. Take care of yourself and take care of somebody else. Thanks, Can't Stop Lying. Thanks to everybody. Thanks to our Patreon people. Thank you for everybody who's joining us over there. Thanks, everybody at Twitch. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. You guys are wonderful. I love these guys. I love these guys. You're so much fun.
That was really cool, by the way.
I agree. Super good. Now, what am I going to have some dinner?
People coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup.
No, I don't think they'll Postmate that. I think I might make
soup for my family.
But I don't know, I mean, soup is good medicine.
Medicine and medical and what we're doing.
That's right. I just don't want anything that'll mess with my digestion.
They're not allowed to be offensive, unfortunately.
I know. Terrible.
That's amazing. How did you do that?
Well, it's a skill, really. I mean, it's a talent. All right. See you guys later.
Lady, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you to leave the store.
Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
I never realized how much my advice would hurt people until my advice hurt me.
I gotta barbecue your ass in molasses.
to know its limitations.
Person, woman, man, camera, TV.
I love lamp.
You stay classy, San Diego.
We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
Weirdos, motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Just the facts, ma'am.
I'm just a happy camper.
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said,
You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Geez, you're real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.